we get all, not confused, but semantically confused when we speak about self, because there's many aspects of self. But there's two that I'll draw a distinction between for the sake of explanation. We have what I call the lowercase s self and the capital S self. So the capital S self is that which is one with the divine. The capital S self is the ocean, in the metaphor of waves on the ocean. As in, there is an infinite ocean. That is the metaphor for soul, spirit, divinity, infinity, consciousness. And then there's waves, which are the metaphor for each of our individual experiences, karmic packages, individual life. The capital S self is ocean, meaning even though it may be currently in the form of a wave, its highest truth is ocean. So our capital S self is soul, is spirit, is divinity, is consciousness. And these are different words that are used. They're not exactly synonymous, but for this discussion, they're synonymous enough. And they're all words that are used to describe that highest truth of who we are, which is not the body. That which is not born, that which does not die. That which is infinite and is immortal and is one with all and is perfect. That's the capital S self. The lowercase s self is the wave. In Sanskrit, we speak about Jivatma, which is this individual soul self, and Paramatma, the ultimate, supreme, divine, which is actually our truth. So sometimes yoga is spoken about as the union of Jivatma with Paramatma, the union of individual with supreme. Now, it's actually a reunion because we ultimately were never really separate. So it's more of a re-remembrance of the union that has never ceased to exist. But we speak about it as a union. So the lowercase s self is this individual body. My experiences, my history, my thoughts, my memories, my psyche, my subtle body, my mind, my intellect, my ego, plus all of the content, what I've learned, what I think, what I've experienced. The sadhana, the meditation, is done by the lowercase s self to experience the capital S self. Capital S self has no reason to do sadhana. What does the ocean need to do? It's the ocean. It can't do anything anyway. It just is. Isness. There's no verb that goes with isness other than just is. It doesn't do something. It just is. That which does is the lowercase s self. So my lowercase s self says, I really need to meditate. My lowercase s self sets the alarm. The alarm goes off in the morning. A more skillful aspect of my lowercase s self says, I'm going to get up. It seems ridiculously early. I'm in the middle of a beautiful dream. It's so cozy under the covers, but I'm going to get up. A slightly less skillful aspect of my lowercase s self says, tomorrow. And it hits the snooze button and goes back to sleep. Depending on which one acted first, let's say I get up and I sit to meditate. In my mind, I start chanting the mantra, or I'm focusing on my breath, or I'm doing whatever my meditative practice is. That is lowercase s self. That is the mind. That's actually why, ironically, even though the mind cannot know the capital S self. And the mind in many ways is the greatest impediment to knowing that self, because the mind keeps telling us we are lowercase s self. Nonetheless, without the mind, we also cannot know the capital S self, because we need the mind to actually, as it becomes more refined and skillful, take us through practices and techniques and teachings that ask us, who am I? Who am I? Or that teach us mantras of, I am divine, aham brahmasmi, soham. Whatever that mantra may be, that is the mind chanting that. And that's why the game is not about killing the mind or annihilating the mind, but it's much more about refining the mind and taming the mind to actually be able to utilize it for me, to help me know my capital S self. So who's doing the sadhana? A very beautifully clear and skillful lowercase s self to know the capital S self.